Internet, good morning. My name is Magnitude, and welcome back to another Nimble Nimbus update, version 0.10.5. If you guys enjoy seeing these updates, you want to see well, you're going to see more no matter what, because it's my creation and I am proud of what I'm doing. I guess leave a like in the videos. The likes are what help the channel grow, and the likes kind of just show me that, you know, it's a quantitative number of the number of people that give a shit enough about my happiness to leave a like in the video. But then that kind of leaves the problem of why is my happiness directly tied to a number that I cannot control itself. That's a philosophical question for another time. This is Nimble Nimbus version 0.10.5. There was no update last week. It's because I was working on a big update that I didn't want to just put out part of it because it wouldn't really have done anything. And I wanted to get the whole thing done. So most of the back end is most of the update was from the back end. There's a lot of database stuff, a lot of stuff in the background, very few actual kind of cosmetic things and cosmetic changes. So let's just I just want to talk about what the changes were, some of the problems that I had, and you can see the full patch notes, link in the description if you're into that sort of thing. So the first thing I did was I had the global kills for the Comet and the Jet enemy. They kept track of in real time. So before this update, when you killed the Jet and the Comet, you had to, it kind of tallied itself when you went back to the main page, but now every time you kill one, it updates the database in real time, so I can see as people are playing, killing those enemies, I can see those numbers change. There is an error right now where sometimes it goes back to 1. I'm not sure why. I'll have to explore that, but for 99% of the time it works fine. There must be something, some hiccup with, I don't know. I'll have to see. It must. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. But the real-time updating was something that I want to get. So I've almost got it. It works most of the time. I just need to figure out how to fix it so it works all the time. The big thing is that I've given people the ability to log in with an account. Users can make accounts now and log in with those accounts. So a user needs to select a email address, a password, and a username. And if there's an error in entering any of those, I have a box that pops up that says the error specifically. Before, I tried to manufacture my own boxes, but now I just take the actual error from the database and throw that on a text box and made it look different and interesting rather than just a regular gray text box. The issue with that right now is that sometimes people have auto-filled passwords, and there's a space at the end of the password. That's like an invisible space. And then they go to sign up, it says the email address is formatted incorrectly. So I might have to just kind of, I'm gonna have to kind of figure how to, I have to figure out how to configure strings to remove any spaces before or after. I'm sure it's pretty easy. I just need to, look it up and how to do it. So, so users can log in with an account. They log in with a username and a password. And once you log in, your local device saves that data. So once if you X out of the game and go back in, it just auto logs you in with the last successful login. So there's also a log out option. You can choose to log out. The password is not saved on a database at all. It's just saved locally to your phone. So and then once you log out, it deletes it anyway. So that way, it's just so you can auto log in instead of having to keep logging in with your username or with your email and password every time. That would get really annoying, and I needed to make sure that worked because I know that would turn people off really quickly. Also, I have a individual user stats page. So keep track of all the enemies that you've killed and how many of them that you've killed, and it puts those on a page for you, and those are all database entries. So that was the big update of the past 2 weeks. It took me a while. What it did, though, is it set up kind of the framework for, so now what I've learned is how I can add data that doesn't yet exist, and then make it exist. So let me give you an example of maybe other games that might do that. So when Pokemon Go updates they add new Pokemon to the game, your character needs to be able to have space for those Pokemon. Your Pokedex has to be updated for those Pokemon, but you also don't want to keep overwriting the same data on startup. So what I mean by that is the game has to update. So I'll just, I don't know why you might use that example, but we'll keep the example. So if Pokemon Go updates with a whole new set of Pokemon and the Pokedex updates, when you start up, the game has to recognize the fact that there are now more Pokemon, and then it's got to create blank entries for those Pokemon in places they can go. Now, if you catch a Pokemon while you haven't closed the app yet, you want to make sure when you open the app again, the app doesn't recreate a blank entry. It wants to know that it's filled. So I can do that now. So if I add a new enemy, all I got to do is add this little code, and that code goes, well, it searches for a certain path. If the path doesn't exist, then it makes that path, and then that's it. So that way I can just, add things later in game, like for later updates that don't require people to have to, start everything over again. So I was pretty pumped I got that done. So one of the problems that I had was, this is a very strange issue that I had, was that, so in Unity that I'm making it, if you look for the value of a path that doesn't exist, it says, okay, cool, the value of that path doesn't exist. I know what that means. I can make a value for that path. That same exact code, while it works on Unity, it can interact with the database flawlessly. Imported to the phone goes, so you only find the value of a database that doesn't exist? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, the path itself doesn't exist, not the value of the path. So on the phone, I have to put if the actual path exists. In Unity, I have to put if the value of the path exists. That was no documentation anywhere. So it worked fine in Unity. I exported it, pushed the update. People made accounts. Was working fine. I had no idea why. I had to figure it out. I finally did, but it was really, really annoying. It was just, so it's annoying. So this update was a lot more back-end stuff. There was, you log in, you sign up, you log in. There's a user stats page. And upcoming now, what I'm doing now is I'm setting a like a user password, or sorry, a user level user experience system. So I can start, getting a player level, and then from that level, different, like if you're level 3, maybe you unlock some cosmetic things, and maybe you get some upgrades and abilities. So I'm finally kind of at the point now where I can start upgrading things and start making, more to the game without having to worry about losing all that data when the phone goes off. Because it's all going to be on a database, and this is going to set me up perfectly if I want to make, my big Monster Defender game. So this update was big as far as a coding side, not that big as far as the cosmetic side, but it did add a lot to the game. It allows you to see all your stats. It allows you to see all your stats, and I think that's a good start, a good place to start. Also, I fixed the scaling problem, sort of, kind of, but we'll get into that with the next update. I think I fixed it in that one, but I don't know. Either way, hope you guys enjoy the videos. Hope you guys, are still excited about the game. I'm still excited about making the game. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see each and one of you guys next time. Good night.